Hello children, today in this video class we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 5, Soil Erosion and Conservation. The chapter is dealing with the soil erosion, E-R-O-S-I-O-N, erosion and conservation. So what is meant by erosion? Erosion means what? Washing away or blowing away, washing or blowing away of soil, or blowing away of soil is called erosion. And before that, what is soil? Soil is nothing but the topmost layer of the earth's crust. So our earth is fully covered with soil. So soil is nothing but topmost layer of earth is called soil. Topmost layer of the earth's crust is called soil. Wherever you see, you can find the soil. The floor or the ground is covered with soil. That is the topmost layer. In that only we live. We means we human beings, animals, even the plants, all living things live in the top layer called soil. So soil is the topmost layer, and this soil only help the plants to grow. They contains the nutrients what the plants need to grow. It only holds the plant. Holds means what? Catch the plant and make them to stand erect. Helps them to stand erect. For example, I have brought the grass plant. See, are you able to see? This is a grass plant. I have plucked and come. And are you able to see this root? While I pluck, it doesn't come just as it is, because the root of the grass, it has hold the soil. Can you see the soil particles in the grass? So these are the roots of the soil, grass plant, and it holds the soil. See, so in all the roots, is there any soil particle in the leaf? No, but in the roots, I think you all could see clearly. So the roots hold the soil, and the soil help them to stand erect above the ground. Understand? So the roots hold the soil, and these soil particles, we use them for various purposes. For construction of buildings, for making toys, is it not? Then another one, that pottery industry, those who make the pots, panegal, that and all made of clay. It is also a type of soil. So the soil is of different types and in different colors it is, where they are. The place where it is present, it will be different. That means in some areas it will be black in color, or red in color, orange in color. So there are different types. And in foreign countries and all, there is one beach called with white sand. The beach is seen with fully white sand. So like that, soil is of different colors and they are of different types, and it is very useful for us. The plants need soil for its growth. All the living organisms are depend on plants for their food. So if plants are not there, living beings can't live. In the same way, if soil is not there, plants will not be there. So soil is very important. Understand? And do you know how this soil is formed? So, how the soil is formed. Next one. Next, what we are going to see is soil formation. How the soil is formed. The soil is formed by a process called weathering. W-E-A-T-H-E-R-I-N-G. Weathering. What is the pronunciation? Weathering. W-E-A-T-H-E-R-I-N-G. Weathering of rocks. So, this soil is formed from the rocks. You know that rocks are the big pieces. That is not so small. It will be a big piece. That is called as rock. And this rocks for very long years by repeated cooling and heating. By repeated cooling and heating. Are we cooling and heating the rock? No, naturally. By sunlight and rain. In the daytime we have sunlight, and in the night time the earth gets cooled. Sunlight is not there. So these rocks repeatedly by heating and cooling by the sunlight and the moonlight, it gets a break in them. They have a crack. They have a crack. If this is the rock, because of repeated heating and cooling, they will have a crack in between. And while it rains, what will happen? The water will enter into through this crack. And while the wind blows, the air will also enter through this crack. So on repeatedly as these processes were going on, the crack will become bigger. That small crack will become bigger. And finally, it will break into 2 or more pieces. So this will not happen within a day or within a month. It will take years together. It will take many years for breaking the rock. And these rocks will be broken down into small stones. And these stones again, because of the blowing wind and the running water, they will dash with each other, and they will again, it will be divided into small pebbles. Pebbles means what? Small stones. Stone means somewhat bigger. Pebbles means smaller than stones. And these pebbles, when the wind blows, again when the rain comes, it will move along with the water and wind. They will roll and they will dash with each other. Is it not? And what will happen? It will again broken down into smaller pieces or fine particles called soil. Tiny grains of pebbles are called soil. So this repeated process of heating and cooling breaks down the big rock into small pieces, and that small pieces again it will be converted into stones and pebbles, and finally the fine particles are called, tiny parts of soil are called soil. Tiny grains of the rocks are called soil, and this process of repeated heating and cooling of rocks is called weathering. So the soil is formed by the process called weathering, and this formation of soil is a long process, I said, is it not? So for one formation of 1 centimeter of soil, 1 centimeter means how much? In the scale, small size scale, there will be measurement like this. If you see the small scale, what you use to draw lines, in that markings will be there like this. 4 small lines and 1 big line. So like this, and they will put numbers 1, 2, 3 like that. So that up to that 1, that is the 1 centimeter. So formation of this much soil, 1 centimeter height of soil, it will take 300 to 400 years. How long will it take, you see? It will take 300 to 400 years for formation of 1 centimeter of soil. So it is, we have to conserve, that is called conservation. Conserve means we have to protect the soil, because these and all are natural and slow process. We can't prepare or manufacture soil. It is a natural process, natural and slow process. Understand? So formation of soil is a natural and slow process. Natural and slow process. It will take long years for the formation of soil. So by what process the soil is formed? By the process called weathering. Okay, next. Constituents of the soil. Next point. Constituents. Constituent means what and all are present in the soil. Soil is made up of. It is made up of what? Clay. Constituent. That means constituent. Constituent means composed of. It is made up of. Okay. What and all it is made up of? Stones or pebbles, gravel. Gravel means what? Do you know? Jallikkallu solvanga. Black color stones, small stones which is used to lay roads and all. So that is the gravel. Then sand. In beach and all you could see that small soft soil. That is a sand. Grains, tiny grains. Is it not? Then clay, களிமண். So these are the composition of the soil. These and all are present in the soil. And the texture, Texture, texture. Texture and color depends upon the composition of the soil, and along with this minerals are also present in the soil. Lot of minerals, calcium, iron, manganese, sulfur, whatever it is, those are all called minerals, and then minerals are present in the soil. We are taking them from the soil only, digging the earth. So depending upon the minerals present in them, the color will be. If the soil contains more iron, means it will be black in color. If the soil contains more sulfur, it will be yellow or orange in color. So like that, depending upon the constituent, the color and texture. Texture means soft or hard, like that. That is called texture, soft or hard. So while if you wear new clothes, you will say, oh, this cloth is so soft, I like that, will you say? That is called texture. Some cloth will be rough. It won't be comfortable to wear. So that is the texture, soft or hard. Some topsoil will be loose, and the another bottom layer and all will be very hard. Okay, so that the softness or the hard, that is called as texture of the soil. Okay children, next. So we saw what is soil, how soil is formed, then composition of soil and how they are. Next one, we are going to see about layers of soil. Next, layers of soil. The next topic. Layers of soil. So, in the layers of soil, 3 layers are there. Topsoil, subsoil, third one, bedrock. These are the 3 layers of soil. Topsoil, subsoil and bedrock. In the topsoil only, you can see the plant's growth. So here in this diagram, can you see this is the stem part of the plant and the roots have penetrated into the soil. Penetrated means entered into the soil. So in the top layer, now we are going to study about the topsoil. This topsoil will be dark in color, dark and soft. Now only I said about texture, is it not? How this topsoil is dark and soft. And this darkness is due to the presence of humus. H-U-M-U-S, humus. Humus means what? The dead remains of plants and animals gets decomposed. For example, the leaves will get dried and it will fall off from the trees, or from small plant also the leaves will fall down. And some insects like ants or some other insects, it will die and it will be lying down on the soil. What will happen to these living organisms? It will get mixed up with the soil, it will decay, decompose. Azhugi poi enna agum? After 1 month or 2 months, it will get mixed up with the soil. And those are called as organic matters. Without any chemicals means that is organic. So, in the topsoil only, this humus is present, that is mixed with the organic matter. So, the topsoil is so fertile. Fertile means what? It helps the plants to grow well, because it contains the humus, all the nutrients are present, which are very important for the growth of the plant. So you can see the plant's growth only in the top layer as it contains the humus. Understand children? And in the top layer, it will be having some gap in between. Through that, the air will also enter. Here, the topsoil will be loose. It will be loosely arranged. Soil particles will not be tightly packed. They will be loosely packed, so that the air and water will enter into the top layer. So, plants need air to breathe. They need carbon dioxide. From the air only they are also taking the carbon dioxide. So how these air and they need water for their growth. So this air and water will enter into the earth or the soil through the gaps present in the topsoil. As the topsoil contains air, water and humus, it is so fertile, and as the humus is present, it is also called as loam soil. It is also called as loam soil. L-O-A-M-S-O-I-L, loam soil. Topsoil is also called as loam soil. Loam soil means the soil in which humus is present. Okay children, next. In the topsoil, as the air and water is there, many living organisms also live in the topsoil. So plants, animals, everything is seen in the top layer. It is, again let us revise once. Topsoil, it has dark and soft in nature, having texture. It is fertile as it contains humus, and the soil particles are loosely arranged. And as it contains humus, it is otherwise called as loam soil. Are you all clear? Next one. This is first one. Next, subsoil. It is the middle layer. Subsoil is the middle layer. So now, see here, this is the topsoil. This is the section of the earth. If you dig the earth, the layers will be arranged like this. So this is the topsoil, and the center region is the subsoil, where you can see small stones or pebbles, where you can see the small stones or pebbles, and it will be light in color when compared to the topsoil, orange or yellow in color, orange or yellow in color, and it will be tightly packed. Here the topsoil is loosely packed, and this subsoil is tightly packed. There won't be space. There will be space, but not more space. Only little space. See, for example, in this diagram, you can see the root part of the plant entering into the soil. Can you see here? This one. These are the roots, and these roots, you can see more roots in the topsoil, and the lowest bottom part of the root alone is entering in the middle layer, because less gap is present in the middle subsoil or the middle layer, and more air is not present. The air, water, everything is less when compared to the topsoil. So there is no living organisms present in the subsoil, and the soil particles are tightly packed. And as there is less gap in between the soil particles, rainwater will enter here. Here the raindrops will fall, and they will enter the top layer and percolates. 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 Percolate means entering. It enters, rainwater enters through this subsoil. Understand? And next one is the bedrock, the bottommost layer of the soil. Third one is the bedrock. Third one is the bedrock, bottommost layer. This is made up of rocks and stones, big rocks and stones, and no air is present, because there is no gap between the rocks. Here in the topsoil, more space was there. In the middle, less space than the top soil. In the bedrock, no space is there. So no air or water will enter in that area. So no living organisms will be seen. But what will happen? The rainwater which enters into the topsoil and percolates into the middle soil, middle layer, will accumulated here above the bottom bedrock, because no space below that. So all the water will be accumulated. Accumulated means what? Stored in this area, and this is called as underground water. And the water stored in this bedrock region is called as underground water. Are you clear about these three rocks, three layers of soil? We shall revise once again. Already we revised topsoil. Next one is the subsoil. It is the middle layer of the soil. And this middle layer has small stones or pebbles. And this layer is orange or yellow in color or red in color. And the soil particles are tightly packed. So less air and water only can enter into that area. That means that less rainwater percolates through this, and no living organisms or less living organisms only will be seen. Regarding the bottommost layer of the earth or the soil is called bedrock. Here you can see big pieces of rocks and stones. Through that the air and water will not enter. So the percolated rainwater from the middle layer is getting stored above this bedrock, and that is called as underground water. Are you all clear, children? So till now we have discussed what is soil, how soil is formed, and the layers of soil. Next one, we are going to see about living organisms in soil. Next one is living organisms in soil. So in the beginning itself we discussed that so many living organisms, including we the human beings and many animals and plants, live in soil. So now we are going to discuss about the living organisms in soil. What living organisms will be seen. And many living organisms, either it is small or big, is seen in the soil, that is on the earth's surface. And many small, very small, that we cannot see with our eyes, unicellular, one-celled organisms like fungi, F-U-N-G-I, fungi, and bacteria, B-A-C-T-E-R-I-A, bacteria. They are all very, very small. We cannot see with our normal eyes. We have to see under the microscope. Those living organisms and big elephants, big animal like elephants, rhinoceros and all are living on the soil. And these fungi and bacteria help to decompose the organic matter and make the soil fertile by forming the humus. So humus is very important for the plant's growth. These organisms living in soil only feed on the organic matter, and their waste also accumulated in the soil to produce the humus. Next, these animals will move inside the soil. Is it not? They will move from here to there. At that time they are making holes or pores. P-O-R-E-S, pores. Pores means nothing but small hole. Small hole they will make while they move. Through these holes the air and water will enter. This makes the soil suitable for living and helps the plants also to grow. Common example, earthworm. Common example is Earthworm. I think all of you know this. The small worm-like thing which lives in soil. And this is called as friend of farmers. This earthworm is called as friend of farmers because it makes holes in the soil and help the air and water to enter. So it helps the farmers to grow plants. That is why it is called as friend of farmers. And many centipedes and millipedes, C-E-N-T-I-P-E-D-E-S, centipedes, M-I-L-L-I-P-E-D-E-S, centipedes and millipedes. These are also worm-like things that grow in the soil. Now, I have brought those earthworm and centipede specimen. Specimen means, already we have shown you, stored in the chemical, special chemical called formalin. For how long the animals are inside, they will not get decay, they will remain as such. So like that, that is preserved, protected in the laboratories, lab and all. From there I have taken this for you. I will show you now. See, this is the centipede. Can you see the legs? So many legs are there with some gap. And this is called centipede. In Tamil it is called as puran. Puran சொல்வாங்க மண்ணில் அப்படியே ஸ்பீடாக ஓடும். So these and all live in soil. Another one what I said is the earthworm. So this is the earthworm, manpulu, which lives in soil. See how lengthy it is. So it feeds on the organic matter, that is dry leaves or animals, ant and all die means, they feed on them and make them decompose. They remove from the soil and make the place clean and also add nutrient to the soil. So in this way, many organisms live. And another one known examples like rabbit, rat, snake, rabbit, rat, snake, everything make burrows. Burrows means what? The living place of these animals, making hole in deep into the earth and they will live inside. So making burrows in the soil, these animals like rabbit, rat, snake, everything live in the soil. So children, today we have discussed what is soil, how soil is formed, what are the layers of the soil and the living organisms in the soil. Hope you all understand. The remaining part of the lesson we may discuss in the next class. Thank you children.